And we are continuing this series, I guess you can call it now, on marriage, and with today's topic specifically about marriage and friends of the opposite sex. So, yes, BLMgirls.com. Nick is a BLM girl. Thanks, girl. Well, let's just jump in. I made a couple of notes here because, I was like, well, this is some information we really need to talk about. This topic came up from you guys yesterday on our chat when we were talking about jealousy and the fact that jealousy does sometimes creep into relationships, even between the husband and the wife. Just a really quick example, when there are instances where maybe a husband is unemployed and the wife is, going back and forth to work every day and she's earning some income, there are times when the husband can become a little bit jealous or envious of the fact that he's not the breadwinner, the bread maker. He's not the breadwinner. And the opposite is true as well. The wife can become just as jealous. And so we just talked a little bit about the fact that that is something that is possible in marriage, and how important it is to make sure that you have an open line of communication, and that we as wives are spending time learning our husbands and loving on our husbands, so that there is no, concern, or there is no fear that you love him any less simply because he's unemployed or she's unemployed, whatever the case may be. So anyway, that was what we were talking about yesterday, and one of you mentioned that it would be great to talk about friends of the opposite sex in a marriage, and how that all plays into things. So that's what we're talking about today, and we are going to get started because I've been talking a little bit longer than I wanted to. As you're listening, please comment whatever you feel like you want to share. Please go ahead and share. There's a little guy at the bottom of the screen. If you tap him, and you'll see a little window pop up, which will allow you to share this broadcast with your friends and followers if you think you know somebody that needs to hear this information. And then, of course, I love hearts, so just tap the screen, tap, 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 and give me a heart attack. All right? So I think the very, very first thing and the ongoing theme of these conversations is communication. Hey, communication. Hey, LaShonda. And so we want to make sure, when you're in your very early stages of marriage, and if possible, before being married. So while you're engaged, it's important to talk about friendships and friends of the opposite sex. Okay? And the main thing I think you want to accomplish is setting some rules, some boundaries, and defining what friendship with people of the opposite sex will look like for you. And so I'll tell you what works for us, for my husband and I. And again, we've been married almost 10 years. I don't think I said that, but we've been married almost 10 years. We have 4 little ones. We're happy. We have our ups and downs, but, we work it out. We talk and we figure it out. And I couldn't be happier. I'm hugely blessed by him and all that he pours into my life. So our definitions of friendship. Now, there are 3. Well, let me restate that. There are 3 definitions that we use to explain these types of relationships or associations with people of the opposite sex. So the first is business associates. Business associates are people that you work with. They're maybe classmates, even if you're in school. They're people that you see on a pretty regular basis, daily, if not, more, which I don't know what would be more, but, just on a very regular basis. There are people that you talk to pretty much every day, several times a day, people that you see all the time, people that work very closely with you. There are people that see you on good days, people that see you on bad days, people that get to know you on a very intimate level. And I say intimate because our emotions are a very intimate thing, and in the span of a day, you can have highs and lows, and you have people around you of the opposite sex who witness this and witness how you handle different situations, and they get to learn you. They learn how you work. And so you have these business associates who, thanks, Nicole, I think it's Nicole. Thanks, Nicole. you have people who of the opposite sex who are starting to learn you. And so you want to be careful when you are asked to lunch. You want to be careful when you're asked to do things with people of the opposite sex, and make sure that if you are going to lunch, that you go in a group. It sounds sophomoric and it sounds like you're 12, but you want to make sure that you're going in the with a group. And the reason that I say that is because if you are, how many people here work out of the home, work in an office where there's other people of the opposite sex there present? Many of us do. I don't, but many of you do. And so you know that rumors and, all that little talk that goes on behind the scenes when you're there or when you're not there, even some of the things that you say to your coworker, not all of it is true. And all of it, some of it is even just being messy, but the bottom line of it is that it's talk, it's chatter about things that are going on. So if people happen to see you going out to lunch with someone of the opposite sex innocently, they might think something or other is going on, and they may even say something to another coworker like, "Oh, did you notice Leslie went to lunch with Joe?" And leave it open, don't even have to say anything more, but just that simple sole comment makes someone have a second thought. And you never, never, never want to open that door. You never want people to suspect that you're doing something that you're not, no matter how innocent it is. So it's wise. Even if rumors don't occur, we also have to guard our own hearts, right? And that was the next thing. As I said, although you're in a business setting, there are levels of intimacy, I'll say, that occur. People are learning you. You are learning them. And there are times when you have conversations about home, conversations about, your personal life. And all of this is, what? I'll even call it similar to dating. Because when you're dating someone, you're learning about them. You're learning about their makeup, what makes them tick. And when you're in an office setting, you're learning some of those same things. So if you were to take that learning process, all that data that you're gaining out of the office place and put it in a romantic setting, it's the same thing. You're learning about these people on a pretty intimate level. So anyway, make sure that you're going to lunch in groups. And then also when you have the opportunity to attend company events, like a Christmas party or something like that, invite your spouse, bring your spouse. Chances are when you come home from work, you are going to tell your husband or your wife how your day was. You're going to say, "Gosh, Mary gave me so much work today and I just don't know how I'm going to get it all done." You're going to mention people by name. So when you give your spouse the opportunity, bring your man, right? Bring your man. When you have the opportunity to bring your spouse into this part of your life, it's important to do so. It's very important to do so. And like I said, nothing's happening. You have no secrets to hide at work. But when you bring your spouse and make them visible in front of your coworkers and make your coworkers visible in front of them, it puts a face to the name, and it sets maybe some insecurities that your spouse might have at ease. It puts their mind at ease. So now they're like, okay, Mary isn't an invisible person. Mary, I look better than Mary anyway. It just makes your spouse more comfortable. So it's good to make sure that you bring or invite your spouse to come along with you. Now, if the company party is optional, and your spouse is like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna sit this one out," sit that one out with her too, or with him too. You know what I mean? Bad as it is, you're already at work 8 to 10 hours a day, so spending another 3 hours with these people that you work with, you can be spending that time at home with your wife. Hey, Adriana, thanks for joining me. So bringing your spouse to company events is a plus. And also making sure that when you are doing things off-site, whether it's lunch, whether it's carpooling to a meeting off-site, go with a group, and just so that you don't have any suspicions of any things that could possibly be happening by people that you work around. Yes, it is nice to hang out with coworkers with or without a spouse. That's true. That is very true. But it's just being mindful of those that you surround yourself with, really in any capacity, in every capacity of life. So business associates, the people that you work with, you also want to make sure that, the second group of relationships that most of us have with people of the opposite sex is social media, socially. So, I mean, just the last 10 years, everybody's friends with everybody. I don't know half of the people on my Facebook page that I'm friends with. I would honestly tell you probably about 70% of the people, no, 65% of the people on my Facebook friends, list, I've probably never seen in person. Yeah, it's true. But it's a fact, and I think a lot of us, as time progresses, that number will only grow. Um, at the early stages of social media, everyone was really high guarded with who they allowed to be their friends and who they let into their social media space. And now it's like, come one, come all, the more the better. Um, and so my point is that we use that term very loosely when it comes to social media. Everyone's your BFF, everybody's your bestie, everyone's your blogger babe and boo and all this kind of stuff. But when you get down to it, you don't want your husband being, or you as a wife don't want to be. Yes, social media friends can get you in trouble too. You have to check them too when you're married. Yes, ditto. I concur. But so with social media, you have all of these different people who claim to be your friends, people who think they know you in real life when all they know is your Instagram feed or your Facebook feed. But when it comes to, again, making new friends in social media, that's great when you're making friends of the same sex. So, like I told you, I have a group called Bloggers Like Me. It's for women. So all of the people that are now followers of mine and people that I follow, 99%, 98% of them are women. The other 2% are men that are in my niche who I need to know for business reasons. Okay, I'm not out looking for males to follow just for the sake of following them. Like, I don't even follow celebrities because, it's just, that's a whole nother conversation. But, why am I spending time reading feeds of these people of the opposite sex who are not um, educating me in my world of business, in my business arena, who are not offering resources in my area of business? That's what's important to me. And as a married adult, you really shouldn't be on social media looking for friends of the opposite sex if it's not business related. If anyone here can think of a reason why that's a thumbs up, let me know. But I don't. And I really, as I thought about this topic, I was like, okay, what are the reasons why you would be me as a woman, me as a married woman? Why would I go on social media trying to find or seeking friendships or followers that are male? I don't have a reason to do that. My audience is female, and that is who I want to follow. That's who I would like to follow me. Again, if your business or what you do is something that is, unisex, then there are people that you might follow that of the opposite sex because it's business related. There is no intention, and I think somebody mentioned the intention of it all is what matters. You're right. There is no intention when you're following someone in a business capacity to take it beyond that. And you have to know yourself. What are you really trying to do? Are you really trying to follow this person because of a business relationship, or is there something else going on in yourself? And that's not a question anybody can answer but you. you know, Maruka Designs. I follow